This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, we'll be comparing the high-end, best-selling flagship Kuvings juicer, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, against the all-new, just released Slowstar AI that is meant to change the juicing game because with its automatic sensing intelligence, it knows the kind of produce you're putting in there and will either speed up or slow down the motor to get the maximum extraction, or so the manufacturer says. They say you can get up to 15% more juice with less pulp. And that's what we're going to test out in this episode. So for those of you guys that don't know who I am, my name is John Kohler, and I started my company, DiscountJuicers.com, over 25 years ago now to save you guys the most money on juicers. And besides that, also, more importantly, educate people about the power of juicing and, more importantly, the differences about the different juicers out there. Everyone's a little bit different, works a little bit differently, and I'm here to share all my knowledge with you guys about how juicers work without any of the manufacturer marketing fluff. And I do that in all my videos that I've made in the past, over 900 episodes at this time, unboxing juicers, comparing juicers head-to-head against each other so that you guys could find out the best one for you. I think it is quite unfortunate that a lot of influencers out there that promote certain juicers only promote certain brands. If you see this one person promoting a juicer, they always have the same juicer. That's because they have a relationship with that company and are getting paid off by that company to promote that single machine. That being said, because I started my company over 25 years ago now, I have relationships with all the major companies. And so no matter what juicer you buy, right, I've arranged so you guys can get, number one, the lowest price on the machines, and number two, they're going to share with me a small commission so I can continue my work to give you guys unfiltered videos about the machines where I share my honest opinions, right? And this is very important to me, so I want to thank you guys who will support me by using my coupon codes so that you guys could get the lowest price, but also I could continue my mission to share the truth about juicing and the juicers that are out there. And with that, if you guys are looking to buy one of these juicers, I'm going to save you guys instantly a minimum of 10% off either of the models. If you guys want to get the Slowstar AI, you want to use the links down below. Go to trybest.com, use a coupon code DJ. That'll save you guys 10% off the Slowstar AI. If you guys are looking towards the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, then also you want to use a coupon code DJ at KuvingsUSA.com. That will get you guys the lowest price, and also make sure you click through those links down below that are listed to go right to the page and get you guys the lowest price available. So I want to thank you guys in advance who will use my coupon codes. It allows me to pay my light bill, buy my produce, pay my amazing video editor, so I can continue to make these videos for you guys and share my honest opinions about the machines that you're not literally going to hear on any other channel. So with that, let's get into today's comparison. Over on this side, we have the Slowstar AI put out by Trybest. They've been in business for over 30 years now, making juicers and selling some of the top brand juicers in the world. They previously had the Slowstar juicer, non-AI version, and that was one of the best-selling juicers back in the day. They later discontinued a few years ago, and now they come out with their replacement for it, the Slowstar AI, that not only features the juicer hopper that makes juicing easier, because instead of pushing each produce item into the juicer one piece at a time like most of you guys still do, you could simply just pop this lid open, load up this hopper with all the produce, shut the lid, turn on the machine, walk away, and let the juicer do all the work without you. Of course, both these machines are the hopper juicers. That being said, what's special about this machine is that this is, number one, an easy, clean design, so there's no scrubbing is required when you're done. You can just literally spray it off with water. This will save you guys a lot of cleaning time. In the original unboxing video, it took me 80 seconds to clean this machine. Link down below to that video. In addition, this also has a brushless DC motor that can vary its speed. The unfortunate thing about the brushless DC motor is that this machine has a 15-minute duty cycle, which is the shortest duty cycle for a juicer in this price range. That means you can't run it longer than 15 minutes or you shouldn't run it longer than 15 minutes. I haven't tested to make sure I could run it longer. I would probably guesstimate based on my past juicing experience that I could double that usage time without any problems whatsoever. But nonetheless, TriBest rates it as 15-minute usage time, which is to me one of the downsides. Meanwhile, if you go over to the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, yes, it also has that hopper. And unlike the hopper on the Slowstar AI, which is 1.5 liters, the hopper on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus is the largest that comes stock on any juicer at this time, of 4 liters. So that's like 2.5 times larger as it comes stock, and you could even make it bigger, like I'll be showing you guys in a minute. And the other thing is, besides having a hopper, this has more traditional juicing design with a juicing screen and a wiping blade that is literally time proven over the last 20 years to yield good results. In addition, unlike the Slowstar AI that only has a 15-minute usage time, Kuvings rates this as the longest usage time of any vertical hopper slow juicer out there. They rate it at 45 minutes, and I have exceeded the 45-minute usage time on many occasions. I probably, once again, easily doubled it to an hour and a half usage time without any problems whatsoever. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, are you the type of person that just wants to make a glass or two of juice in the morning? And then, yeah, maybe the Slowstar AI would be great for you because you're not going to exceed the 15 minutes of juicing time. That being said, if you're more like me and you basically want to just sit down and juice on a Sunday and make 5 quarts or 6 quarts for the week, then that's where you would want to get the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, which is my favorite large format hopper juicer because I can cram so much produce in the hopper, as you guys will see in just a little bit. Of course, this machine also has a 240 watt AC motor that is actually quite heavy compared to the brushless DC motor inside this machine. Of course, the sizes are different, which we'll measure, as well as the RPM. The RPM of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus is 60 RPM, revolutions per minute. That's how fast it spins. And on the Slowstar AI, it actually has a variable RPM between 32 and 60 RPM, depending on what you're juicing or actually what function you select, because they have special buttons on here. If you're juicing apples, only apples, you press apples. If you're juicing only carrots or citrus, you press that button. If you're juicing watermelon, you press that button. And all these presets have been defined to basically run the juicer at the exact appropriate speed to extract the most juice out of your produce. Meanwhile, the Kuvings, we could call it a dumb juicer because it just has an on and off switch, and it runs at 60 RPMs no matter what you're juicing. So I personally feel that running a juicer at various RPMs can be helpful, but is it really there yet? And is it really going to yield up to 15% more juice with less pulp? Well, we're going to find out when we actually do a juice off comparison a little bit later. The main difference between these two machines, besides this being a motor and being smart and not being so smart, just with a switch, an on and off switch, are the juicing parts. So let's go ahead and take off these juicing parts and compare them for you guys. As you guys can see, they're almost the same height, which is quite interesting to know, because the Kuvings Auto10 Plus has like a 2.5 times larger hopper, right? 4 liters compared to 1.5 liters. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and take both these apart to share with you guys the differences. Okay, first off, to unassemble the Slowstar AI, you just turn it and the hopper comes off very simply and easily. Over on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, there's a little button you need to press down here. So normally I put my hand in, push my hand down, and then you can turn and the whole hopper comes off. So now you guys can see the differences in the hopper size. It's a pretty big difference, you know, not only in the height, but also the diameter. So you guys can see now when I set these side by side, the Kuvings hopper is just so much more taller and wider than the Slowstar AI. They have a similar size feed hole in the middle. The other thing is that to open this, the TriBest Slowstar, you press the button and it pops up. And on the Kuvings, you have this little tab that you need to just basically lift up. This one, the lid opens a lot wider than on the Slowstar AI. In addition, the lid comes off, which I like, so it makes cleaning a little bit easier. The lid quality on the Kuvings is a lot more thicker than on the Slowstar AI, which seems a bit thin to me. And then showing you guys inside the hoppers what it looks like. The Slowstar AI hopper is just a tube basically, and in the Kuvings hopper, they basically have the processing blade here at the bottom, which is 100% stainless steel, and a cutout here on the bottom that the produce is fed through. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, to probably, prevent patent lawsuits, because I think this style is patented, they have a separate processing blade and bottom, which is attached to the auger. So when you put it together, effectively, it looks like this. So then you guys can see now this has a bottom with a hole in it as well. And then also a stainless steel 304 processing blade. So between these processing blades, actually I do like the Slowstar AI. It has a much better kind of shape and design that in my opinion should be more efficient than the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, which I actually haven't tested these guys against each other yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how they both work. So on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, it's a two-piece hopper. So you have a lower hopper and an upper hopper, and when you assemble both these together, you have 4 liters. That being said, you can take off the hopper extension, which is, I believe, 1.3 liters, and then you have a 2.7 liter hopper here if you're not going to juice that much. In addition, the cool thing about the Kuvings Auto10 Plus is that besides the included accessory hopper, you could actually add on an additional hopper that you could buy from Kuvings. And this additional hopper is only an additional $30, and Kuvings says you could fit on 1 additional hopper onto the machine. It was designed to do just that. Use of additional hoppers beyond this may void your warranty, and it's not been designed for that. That being said, I have successfully used 2 hopper extensions and have made videos about it before. Links down below to my videos on how I juice 2 whole watermelons or 3 whole pineapples, using the Kuvings with 2 hopper extensions. And now you have a gigantic hopper. This is the largest hopper on the market because now it's 5.3 liters. Basically, I think that's like 3.6 times larger hopper than on the Slowstar AI. All right, next up, let's go ahead and compare some of the juicing parts and how they're similar and how they are different. So on the Kuvings, we have a standard setup that has a standard juicing auger. And then on the Slowstar AI, we also have that juicing auger. But I want you guys to notice on the Slowstar AI, which is actually modeled off their original Slowstar auger, in my opinion, is that the auger is a lot more tall. So that means there's more of a run on how much the produce gets ground up. So hopefully that means the produce is going to get more ground up finally and extract more juice. So I do like that it is a little bit longer. They are both made out of the GE Ultra material, and both these machines are BPA free. Next up, how the Kuvings works is that you have a standard juicing screen with hundreds of little holes in the stainless steel mesh. As the auger is spinning around inside this juicing screen, what happens is the produce gets crushed and pressed out between the screen and the auger, and then the juice comes out all these little stainless steel holes. At the same time that's working, you have a wiping blade that is going around that acts like the windshield wipers on your car to squeegee off the juice as it comes out to get it into the juicing bowl and then come into your collection cup. So that's how this one works. Now the Slowstar AI works pretty much the same actually. It has the auger, but then that goes inside a screenless juicing screen. Instead it has these little slits, and when you put the auger in here and this runs around, basically what happens is it crushes the produce as a first set of slits that, like on an orange or something juicy like a watermelon, juice may come out of. That being said, as the produce goes down, instead of coming out of little stainless steel holes, it comes out of these little slits here in the in the screenless screen design, but then those screen holes are quite large, so that would let a lot of pulp in your juice. So in the juicing bowl, they have these little tines that are sticking up. So when you put these two pieces together, now you see like little slits. You guys could barely see the slits in there, or little lines that the juice will come out of instead of all the holes in the juicing screen. So this is truly one of the advancements of the Slowstar AI, because it's going to save you guys a lot of cleaning time. Your cleaning time without scrubbing this goes from like 80 seconds, and if you have to clean the Kuvings, it's going to take you 4 to 5 minutes from what I've timed before. Although Kuvings does have a special cleaning brush that you can just basically attach to the screen and then rotate it around a few times and get your screen clean. The Kuvings actually comes with 3 cleaning brushes, including the special screen cleaning tool, whereas the Slowstar AI comes with a very, not the best quality cleaning brush, in my opinion. So that's how these work. The main juicer parts there. And so we could kind of take these apart so you guys could see all the different parts you will need to clean when you're done. So when you're done, you'll need to clean all these parts. On the Kuvings, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the hopper, and on the Slowstar AI, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, including the hopper. So, the 1 part savings will save you time. The other thing is you're not going to have to scrub out all the stainless steel holes in this juicing screen. And I've come to not like cleaning screened designs. That being said, every juicer has its pros and cons, and for some people, they're not going to be bothered by cleaning a juicing screen like other people would, all right? It all seems to me that like these days, everybody's getting adverse to doing a little bit of work around the house or in the kitchen. Everybody just wants something fast and easy. And if that's what you're looking for, then the Slowstar AI or other easy clean design machine would probably be better for you, because what that means is that you're going to end up juicing more often. All right. So next up, let's go over the juicing bowl. So the Kuvings juicing bowl is very simple. It's basically just open on the inside. It's going to be very easy to clean. Meanwhile, over on the Slowstar AI, the juicing bowl, it has all those tines in the middle. In addition, this has a spout cap to let the juice out or keep it held in the machine to allow it to mix. When you close your spout cap, it may reduce some of the foam in your juice than if you leave it open. That being said, your yield may also go down. So I recommend generally to leave it open. And then your pulp comes out over on this side on the Kuvings. We could drop this down. You guys can see they've actually taken out the little silicone plug here that normally keeps some resistance on the produce. They figured out they didn't really need it to get the maximum amount of yield. So this actually makes cleaning a little bit easier because there's no little silicone plug. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, once again, you have that juice spout cap that you can close and open. And on this one, you could click this and then open this up, and you guys can see there's that little silicone plug that you will need to kind of remove and clean underneath when you're done. Cleaning on the juicing bowl is actually the Kuvings is going to be easier, but I guess the main difference is the screen. The screen is going to be a lot easier to clean on the Slowstar AI. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and assemble both machines. Assembly on the Slowstar AI is a little bit easier than on the Kuvings, because literally you just take the juicing screen, drop this in any which way. You take the juicing auger, drop that in, make sure it fully seats down. You're going to take your hopper, and there's a white line on the hopper, which you're going to line up with the open padlock here, and then turn it. It locks in place, and then you're going to set this whole top set on top of the machine. Always the handle is facing the front of the machine and the control panel. All right. Next up on the Kuvings, they got a few red dots that you will need to pay attention to assemble it properly. First up, you take the wiping blade, you shove that onto the screen. You pay attention to the red dot on the juicing screen, and then you line that up with a red dot on the juicing bowl, and then they will seat. And then you're going to go ahead and take the auger, push that right down into the middle. And then finally, you're going to take the hopper, and they have an arrow here, and they have an unlock and a lock here. So you're going to line up the arrow here with the unlock, and then you can turn it to the lock. It'll actually click to let you know it's all locked in. And then you want to pick this up, and the handle, once again, faces the front of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. And as you see, I assembled it with the additional hopper extension on there. So now we have a total of 5.3 liters of hopper. Once again, like, it really pales in comparison to the 1.5 liters of the Slowstar AI. All right, next up, let's go ahead and do some measurements. So the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with the hopper extension is quite tall, and this one is about 22 1/4 inches tall. This is definitely not going to fit underneath your kitchen cabinets. That being said, you know, if you do remove just the hopper extensions, then this could sit underneath your kitchen cabinets, and then you could have this set to the side or in a cupboard. So I always encourage you guys to leave your juicer out on your kitchen counter because it will get used more. Next up, let's go ahead and measure the width of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. So the width of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus at the base is about 6 inches one direction, and then the other direction is about 7 inches. Meanwhile, over on the Slowstar AI, the height is about 17 3/4 inches tall. The width is approximately 8.5 inches wide. And then we have this dimension is approximately 6 inches wide. So, this is a lot more kind of like wide than the side view of the Kuvings. This overall will definitely take less counter space or a footprint on your counter, although it does go a lot higher because of the massive hopper on there. All right, next up, let's go ahead and do a sound test on both these machines. First up, we're going to go ahead and put the Slowstar AI in the AI mode, and we're going to press start. All right, so it's leveled out to about 57 to 59 decibels. Sometimes it was maybe peaked out at like 64, but in general, it's going to be fairly quiet, but this also depends on what you're juicing inside there. Next up, let's go ahead and check out the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. So this is peaking out at between 63 to 65 decibels, also very quiet, just a few decibels louder than the Slowstar AI. But if sound is important to you and noise, you don't like it, then the Slowstar AI will definitely save you guys a little bit of hurt on the ears because it's a little bit quieter. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is that the Slowstar AI is set up to juice, and it actually also has a sorbet function. It has no additional attachments that are included with the machine. When you buy the Kuvings, which is the flagship model of Kuvings, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, it includes all the different accessories you will need to do the basic functions, which include, you could do the juicing with the included screen, also make nut milks with the included screen that comes assembled inside the machine. That being said, I don't necessarily recommend using any juicer to make nut milks. A vacuum blender and a nut milk bag is a much better way to make nut milks. That being said, you also get a smoothie screen. This is a true smoothie screen with the Auto10 Plus. I'll put a link down below to my video where I show using the smoothie screen and actually using a blender and the differences you will make with the smoothie screen. In addition, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus includes the special sorbet attachment that will properly make sorbet for you and actually put it out where the juice normally comes out. On the Slowstar AI, the sorbet will come out where the pulp normally comes out. So these are included already with the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, but also you have an additional purchase that you can make. You could actually buy an additional citrus attachment for the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. You literally take off the whole top set here. You can just drop on the citrus attachment, turn the machine on, and now instantly you've turned the Kuvings into a citrus juicer. And so this can be convenient for you if you just want to cut an orange in half and just ream out and get the orange water, as I like to call it. That being said, the better way to juice oranges, in my opinion, is to not buy the citrus attachment, but to peel your oranges, just the outer coloring, leave all the white pith on, and then drop the orange into the hopper. It'll juice right up, and you'll even make a more nutritious juice. Link down below to my video where I use the Kuvings Auto10 to show making a more nutritious orange juice than just simply extracting the citrus water that the citrus attachment will make. Nonetheless, I'm glad they have attachments like this available to make it more convenient for you to do more things with your juicer than just juice. So of course, both these machines have a full 15-year warranty, which is your assurance that you'll have a machine that will be working for many years to come. That being said, aside from all the specs and how they work, what's really important to me is how they perform in a real-world juice-off comparison. So let's go ahead and get the scale up here and weigh in the produce to make sure we have a fair fight. All right, guys, you can see we're all set up and ready to juice. On both scales, we got like 1379.6. Fair fight. We basically got a spring mix with spinach, and then I got the same amount of cut up carrots and apples in both of these bins. So let's go ahead and take the bins off and let's get juicing. All right, guys, so in order to have a fair fight, my goal is to load up each hopper as much as possible, start the stopwatch, and turn them on at the exact same time. Because the hopper on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus is gigantic at 5.3 liters, we will likely be able to fit all this produce in there. And on the Slowstar AI, we're not going to be able to fit all the produce in there. Now, because I am juicing multiple different items, including greens, apples, and carrots, it's always best to put a lot of the greens in first and then layer on the carrots and the apples. So I'm just going to go ahead and take some time right now to load up each of the machines. First up, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. When I personally make my own batch juices and I do batch green juices, this week I did a batch green juice of artisanal romaine hearts and celery. I use the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with 2 hopper extensions that are available at Kuvings.com. Link is down below to that. And this allowed me to like literally fit all the greens in. The issue with these greens is that they're quite fluffy. So that's when a small hopper will bite you in the butt. So we got a bunch of greens in there, and now we're just going to go ahead and put a bunch of the apples and the carrots in to help weigh it down at the same time. Next up, let's go ahead and fill in more of the greens. As you guys can see, all these greens and produce is no match for the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with the hopper extension. This is why I love the Kuvings Auto10 when I'm making large batches of juice. I don't mind a little bit more cleaning when I'm making so much juice, because in the end it will save me more time. That being said, some of you guys may not make these large batches, and then it might be better to get an easy, clean machine. So look at this, guys. Dumping in the rest of the produce into the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with the hopper extension. It easily fit everything. All right, on the Slowstar AI, just press the button. It opens up, and then we're probably gonna maybe put 2 handfuls of the leafy greens. Hopper is much smaller in diameter to load it in. Then we're going to go ahead and maybe grab some of the apples and the carrots, a handful of that. And then we're going to go ahead and add in more of the greens. As you guys can see, this hopper is pretty much almost full. That being said, I don't want to stop here. I do want to add in some of the carrots and the apples on top. That'll ensure that the greens are more effectively juiced. I do encourage you guys, when juicing things like leafy greens, always to add in something like carrots or some other kind of root vegetable that'll help the greens get juiced more efficiently. All right, so it looks like we're pretty much loaded on up. Add 2 more things here, and we're gonna go ahead and shut this lid. And now we are all set and ready to juice. Everything fit in the Kuvings. You know, I'm probably gonna have to load it maybe 1 or 2 more times on the Slowstar AI. Turn that AI bad boy on, and let's get juicing. All right, before I start, I do want to share one more thing with you guys on the Slowstar AI. I'm not the biggest fan of how low the juice and the pulp ports are. They are very low in compared to other juicers in the same price range. Other juicers allow you to fit whole size catch cups, and on the Slowstar AI that will simply not work because this is too tall. I really like larger catch cups because I tend to juice a lot at once. That being said, the couch cups that come with the Slowstar AI are much smaller than the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. So then I recommend you guys get some of these. These are the Anchor Hawking, basically 4-cup or 1-quart glass measuring cups. They will fit perfectly underneath the Slowstar AI to catch your juice up to 1 liter at a time, as well as the Pulp, which is a lot larger in capacity than the included couch cups that I'm not a fan of. So for that reason, I'm actually using the same couch cups on both juicers with the same exact sieve to see how much pulp will be put into each of the juices. With that, let's get juicing. So we're going to have to go ahead and press the AI mode on the juicer since we're putting a mixture of produce items in. And then we're going to go ahead and hit start on the stopwatch. Then we're going to go ahead and hit start on both machines. All right, and now both machines are running and off to the races. Let's see who has some juice come out first. All right, the Slowstar AI is first to extract some of the juice out of my mixture, and the Kuvings Auto10 Plus is not far behind. It's just starting to dribble out. All right, in order to save you guys some time, we're going to go ahead and speed up this part of the video to let them juice, find out how they do, and we're going to come back at you when it's all done. All right, guys, the juicers are almost done juicing. It's been about 7.5 minutes now. I think the Kuvings is just about done. It's just basically spinning around and nothing's left in there. One of the tips I want to give you guys is you can shut it off, reverse it, and then run it in forward again and see if you can get anything else to come out, which in this case, it really didn't help much. We can then go ahead and turn it off, and looks like the Slowstar AI also finished in a similar clip. So it took maybe like 8 minutes or 7:45, maybe just a little bit longer than the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. That being said, as you guys saw, I loaded up everything in the Auto10 Plus, and I literally could just walk away and let the juicer do all the juicing without my intervention. On the Slowstar AI, well, it just sped up, letting us know that it's done because it doesn't sense any more produce inside the machine, which is your indication that you can now press the stop button. When you press the stop, it'll automatically reverse for a few seconds and then shut off completely. So our juices are done. Next up, let's go ahead and close our spout caps. And first up, I want to go ahead and measure how much pulp was put into each juice. All right, over on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, I'm going to go ahead and tap this strainer out. As you guys can see, there is very little pulp in the sieve. It looks like it pretty much didn't put any pulp in the juice for that matter. I got the scale zeroed out here. We'll tap that down one more time. Let's go ahead and get all this pulp that was caught in the sieve weighed out. 3.2 grams. Like, I don't even know. I mean, it looks like mostly foam to me. I don't even know if you could even call that pulp. So I'm going to say for all practical purposes, you know, the Kuvings Auto10 put, you know, minimal pulp or like no pulp, you know, that was larger than this sieve here that I'm using today. All right, next up, let's go ahead and check the Slowstar AI for the pulp. And let's go ahead and tap this down and get all the remaining juice out. And after we do that, there's a nice little blob of pulp in there. So once again, let's go ahead and zero out this scale. And let's go ahead and see how much pulp the Slowstar AI put into the juice. All right, guys, so it looks like we put 24.5 grams of pulp. So that's, you know, a lot more than the Kuvings. I think it was like, you know, not much at all. So yeah, definitely more pulp put in the juice in the Slowstar AI. Now, you know, I want to talk about that for a second. Is pulp a bad thing or a good thing in your juice? You know, I would say really you would likely want to have more pulp in your juice because, you know, there's still nutrients in this fine ground up pulp that our body is more easily able to digest and access than whole fruits and vegetables that most people tend not to chew enough. That being said, mostly to me, it's a texture thing, right? So if you like a juice with no pulp in it, because that's what you're expecting and you're used to, of course, the Kuvings Auto10 would be great for that because literally it put very little of any pulp in the juice. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, it did put, a fair bit amount of more pulp in the juice. Now, comparing the Slowstar AI to other screenless style machines, I think in my test it maybe put a little bit less pulp than another screenless design machine that I like the most, the Huram H70. Link down below to that video if you guys want to watch that head-to-head matchup. All right. But yeah, pulp is pulp. I would encourage you guys actually to not strain it out, actually, to leave it in your juice and to drink it on up. That's been a shift for me because as I looked up more of the published studies and the science, it reveals to me that, some pulp in the juice is actually a good thing rather than a bad thing. It won't hinder your absorption of all the nutrients in the juice because, most of the pulp is removed, in the pulp catch bin. A little pulp in the juice, I think, these days is a good thing. But, of course, it's up to you and what you prefer to drink. All right, guys, so next up, let's go ahead and do a close-up on the yield to see if the Slowstar AI with its intelligent sensing technology to sense what you're juicing, did it really make up to 15% more juice? Well, let's find out now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and give a close-up on the yields over on the Slowstar AI. If you look closely, looks like we're just under 800 milliliters of juice. We're going to call that, 795 milliliters of juice. And then we have a little bit of a foam layer on there. Definitely an impressive result. And then if we go over the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, looks like we have approximately 800 milliliters of juice. It's really hard to say because there's like a more distinctive foam layers on there, so I don't know if you want to count a little bit more juice than what I'm giving it at 800, maybe 805 or 810. Hard to say. Basically, foam is just aerated juice, so if we let this settle or pull the vacuum on it, we could basically get it to settle into real juice, which I'm actually not going to do today to see the differences. But, basically, once again, right, the Slowstar comes to bat. And while it's not making like more juice than the name brand recognized established machines on the market, it's definitely a solid performer. So that's definitely, really good. I was hoping it would actually, with its AI technology, make more juice. But in my tests so far, it's kept up with the standard juicers, which is already just an impressive feat. The other thing I do want to notice, much like in the last episode I made where I compare the Slowstar AI, look at the juice colors, guys. Like, that's very interesting to me. Number one, look at the foam, right? So the foam on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus appears to be a little bit more than the Slowstar AI, in my opinion. There's a little bit more distinct foam layers. But the other thing is that the Slowstar AI has a little bit darker juice. Now, the darker juice could be because of oxidation, but in my opinion, the darker juice is because the Slowstar AI was able to grind up and pull out more nutrition for whatever reason, due to the screen design, due to the lower RPM. I don't know, it just seems to have been having a darker juice when I've compared it so far. So, if nutrition quality is most paramount to you over every other factor, and you want a vertical hopper juicer, then the Slowstar AI might be it, because it appears that it actually makes a more nutritious juice than other vertical hopper juicers I've used so far. All right, guys, so next up, I'm going to go ahead and taste test each of the juices to let you guys know my honest opinion. First, we're going to go ahead and taste test the Slowstar AI juice. To your health. The solid juice, I'm not really tasting any particulate in there. Definitely would have sunk to the bottom, and I did not stir it up. Tastes like a good juice. Taste the greens. Taste the carrot. Don't really taste the apple too much. This is a very nice and mild juice, guys. Anybody should be able to drink it. It would be nice if I added a little bit of ginger in there too, though. All right, next up, Kuvings Auto10 Plus juice. To your health. Very similar in taste, guys. I mean, if I had my ex-girlfriend who was a super taster, she might be able to tell you something different, but I mean, I'm going to tell you, for all practical purposes, these juices pretty much taste the same. So I can't really discern like, oh, this one's better than this or anything. I mean, I'm just going to say they make an equivalent juice, but if I had to err on the side of caution and put my money on one of them for making a bit more nutritious juice, actually my money is on the Slowstar AI. But the Kuvings Auto10 Plus made a little bit more juice, so that's quite interesting. So you guys just saw on the yield test, the Kuvings beat the Slowstar AI by that much, not much at all. So I mean, almost that's like a wash. But now I want to go ahead and compare the pulp that came out of each juicer to see if there's any noticeable, discernible difference between the pulps. And in this case, when I'm looking at them, I mean, the pulps look fairly similar. You know, I could take and pick up this pulp and squeeze it, and check it out, guys. I'm squeezing, and like not even a drops are forming, but no drops actually came out. So that's actually quite impressive. On the Kuvings, let's do the same thing. Squeeze it, and I'm squeezing pulp through, and once again, no drops are coming out. Yeah, if you want to spend $2,000 and put this pulp into like a hydraulic press and press it out, you would get more juice. But you know, in both cases, these high-end vertical hopper juicers that both have a 15-year warranty did an excellent job. You know, and mind you, right, I am a juicing expert, right? Watch my channel from all my different recipes, right? I specifically, purposely combine the carrots with the leafy greens. If you juice leafy greens alone, it's not going to be this dry. When you juice leafy greens with carrots, the carrots help the leafy greens to, number one, create less foam, and number two, get a better extraction. If you didn't want to use carrots, you could use something like jicama. Cubed up jicama is probably one of my favorite root vegetable to juice overall because it's so versatile, it doesn't change the flavor much, but it also can help get you the maximum extraction when using a slow juicer. So yeah, the pulp's pretty much the same out of both machines. I'm not seeing a significant difference. Probably what is going to be a difference is on the cleaning. So let's go ahead and take apart both machines to share with you guys what you'll need to clean when you're done. Once again, on the Slowstar AI, a few more drops of juice to come out, and on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, a few more drops of juice to come out. All right. So let's see if we go ahead and first start with the accessory hoppers. You guys can see the accessory hoppers on the Kuving because it's the top hoppers. Very clean. There's a little bit on the bottom of the hopper there. Next up, we're going to go ahead and pop open the Slowstar AI. Oh, look, a leaf didn't get juiced because it was stuck on the top in there. So we're just going to go ahead and pull that out. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and open this up. And if you guys look through there, you guys can see there's a little bit of residue in the hopper. It's not super bad, not like as bad as the other time I compared the Slowstar AI to the Hurom H70. And then once again on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, you guys can see the hopper here. It definitely appears to have actually maybe even a little bit more pulp in it than the Slowstar AI. So yeah, I mean, these hoppers are just, you know, standard cylinder hoppers. And this one kind of left a lot more here. Maybe that's because the processing blade doesn't go around and sweep out the sides as much or something. So, I mean, in this case, I would say the Slowstar AI may be a little bit more efficient, but of course, this depends on what you're juicing as to the hopper efficiency, all right? Next up, let's go ahead and check out the juicing part. So over on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, pulling out the auger here, you guys can see there's ground-in pulp in the auger on the bottom and some pulp underneath the auger as well. You will need to clean that off. And then over on the Slowstar AI, we can pull this out, and the auger is actually fairly clean. There's a little bit of residue on the top, once again, and underneath the auger is actually fairly clean. But once again, this is just a simple rinse off. Next up, the juicing screen. So on the Slowstar AI, once again, screenless design, just rinse this off, rinse is clean. Interesting, there's a piece of greens that are just stuck inside there, but pretty much pretty clean. And on the Kuvings, we could take this off the wiping blade, pretty much just, run water over it. It's going to be pretty much clean. But then the juicing screen, you know, it's not super impacted with pulp on the outside, but then on the inside, there's a little bit of pulp. So Kuvings makes this cleaning of the screen very easy with a specially designed screen cleaning tool that you could put on and then just rotate around. It'll help you clean the screen quickly and efficiently without having to scrub it with the oversized toothbrush. So yeah, this isn't going to be too bad to clean. However, the Slowstar AI is going to be easier, and then the final part to clean will be the juicing bowl. The juicing bowl on the Slowstar AI definitely has more residue in it than the Kuvings Auto10 Plus for sure. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these back assembled and then come back at you with my final thoughts on this juicer comparison. Alright, so at the end of this episode, what did we learn? Well, we learned a few things. The Slowstar AI is a solid performer. It performed almost as good, or just about as good. I mean, pretty much like very minimal difference in the yield, and also, in my opinion, made a little bit higher quality juice. That being said, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus had its own set of benefits. You know, being number one, the hopper is huge. We could just load up everything once. Load it up, turn it on, walk away, and be done with our juicing process, other than coming back to clean it like I'll do in a few minutes. And on the Slowstar AI, we had to, feed in more produce as the machine is running. Both of the machines took about an even amount of time to make the juice. The Kuvings finished a little bit sooner than the Slowstar AI. Of course, both these machines have a full 15-year warranty, backed up by two of the most trusted brands in the juicing industry. The other things I want to mention is that this has a brushless DC motor, and normally brushless DC motors on some other juicers out there have an unlimited runtime, and it really makes me sad that this machine, for whatever reason, only has a 15-minute runtime. That is kind of comparable to some of the machines that you could buy for a lot less money that appear on, major box store websites, for example. So, that's really short, and actually that's one of the points that I will, X off the Slowstar AI, because it should have a much longer runtime, especially at this price point. Another thing I didn't like about the Slowstar AI is that where the juice comes out is a lot lower than on the Kuvings. I mean, this is like, the Kuvings has like a standard size place where the juice comes out. I could fit a whole 32-ounce wide mouth mason jar underneath there to catch my juice, so I don't even have to catch it in a collection cup and then have an extra part to clean. I could juice it right in the cup I'm going to drink out of, or just store in the fridge. And this one is a lot shorter. Also, I do want to mention that the Kuvings Auto10 does have a 45-minute runtime, and these are manufacturer's recommended runtimes. That being said, I've exceeded the Kuvings 45-minute runtime. I've gone an hour and a half easily with the Kuvings without problems. So, that's why I would say you could probably go maybe 30 minutes with the Slowstar AI, but I have not juiced that long in it yet. While I do like the AI feature that it senses the type of produce you're juicing and can speed up or slow it down, and while it is keeping up to the yield of other main brand juicers, right, I'm not completely sold yet on the AI technology. I haven't seen any major difference between yields. I mean, they're all so close to each other that, given the Slowstar AI, like let it win would be not right for me, because, the Kuvings Auto10 is time proven and has the features that I like most. The number one feature I like the most in this machine is a large hopper. Guys, you're not going to beat the size of this hopper. I call this an XXL large hopper. Fill everything once, and especially when you're doing fluffy leafy greens, the extra large hopper saves you guys so much time, because you can just load it up, shut the lid, walk away, and come back. Your juice is done, and then you can clean the juicer up. Of course, the downside of this machine is that it has a traditional juicing screen that you will need to scrub, although Kuvings does give you guys that special tool that will help you clean the screen more quickly than with a standard brush that other companies still give you today. That being said, the big pro to me of the Slowstar AI is that I love the easy cleaning on it. I'm just going to rinse it off. I don't need to use any kind of brush, any kind of scrubbing to get it all cleaned up. So I guess at the end of this episode, while each of these machines are solid performers and you can't go wrong with either of them, I always have to declare a winner at the end of my episodes, and I'm going to have to declare the winner of this episode, the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. Why? Because that has features I like the most. Number one, the world's largest hopper, loading it up once. Number two, it has ports where you can actually put in large catch containers to do bulk juicing. It actually made a little bit more yield than the Slowstar AI, and although the cleaning is a bit more, when you're making a lot of juice, the cleanup is a negligible factor. Also, for those of you guys that don't like pulp in your juice, this pretty much made a virtually pulp-free juice, is how I would describe it. And the Slowstar AI did put more pulp in the juice because of the easy, clean design system. So once again, guys, each of these machines have these pros and cons, and I always share with you guys the most accurate and honest reviews so that you guys could make your own decision and buy the machine that is right for you. You know, and if you guys are ready to buy the machine that is right for you after watching my in-depth episodes, right, make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ at tribest.com. The link is down below to buy the Slowstar AI. Get it for the lowest price. At present time, it's 10% off, which may be more depending on when you're buying it. Or if you guys want to buy the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with the hopper extension, I will put the link down below as well to kuvingsusa.com, and make sure you guys use that coupon code DJ. That'll also save you guys 10% off the purchase. So the one thing I failed to mention is that the Kuvings is a premium model, and it does cost a bit more than the Slowstar AI. So if the budget is your main concern, then this machine is going to perform pretty much similar to this at a good cost savings, is what I will tell you guys. You know, but of course this one has all those attachments as well as that extra optional citrus attachment you can buy. So Kuvings has thought about all these things so they can give you guys the most flexibility to use their machine for more than just juice, whereas the Slowstar AI is designed for making sorbet and juice. I actually haven't even tried it for nut milks yet, and I don't think it really says you could do nut milks even in the instruction manual. So yeah, that's the end of this episode, and after watching this episode, I'd love to know what you think. What juicer would you buy between these two machines? What features did you like most? Hopefully the manufacturers will read the comments underneath my videos and hopefully invent the next level juicer to level up both these machines. You know, my future goal and hope for the future of juicing is that I want more AI juicers, but I want them to be a lot better than the Slowstar AI bit, because a juicer should be able to sense what kind of produce you're putting into it and slow it down or speed it up to get even a higher yield. Of course, I also would like a large hopper and spouts that are a little bit taller on the juicer to make bulk juicing a lot easier. So if you guys enjoyed this episode today where I compare the Kuvings Auto10 Plus against the Slowstar AI, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also be sure to share this with other people that are looking to buy the latest and greatest juicer. The Slowstar AI is the latest juicer on the market at the time I'm filming this episode. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming here 5 to 7 days. You never know what juicers I'll be comparing or unboxing or other kitchen appliances I'll be sharing with you guys so you guys could process your fruits and vegetables and other plant foods in the best ways possible to retain the most nutrition and get the most health benefit from them. Make sure you click the little bell to get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check our past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 900 episodes at this time on the channel dedicated to teaching you guys all about the different juicers and dropping my juicing knowledge bombs on you so you don't have to go to school the hard knocks and you don't have to buy the wrong juicer to later find out there's something better on the market. So also links down below to my videos on the original unboxing of the Slowstar AI, as well as my comparison of the Slowstar AI against other juicers, as well as my unboxing of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, as well as juicing different items in the Kuvings Auto10 Plus as well for your viewing pleasure. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.